Hi, everybody. Welcome to Chat and Craft with Lorraine. I'm Lorraine Tierney, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Warner, New Hampshire, and I love to make cards and I love to share making cards with people. Today's Monday, March 4th, and we're going to do something called the stained glass technique. And this is kind of a new technique to me, and it's just something a little different. I hope you'll like it. I'll show you how we do it. Please let me know if you're watching or catching the replay. And if you're first time watching, let me know where you're from. I love to know that. And I'm pleased to meet you, and I thank you for being here. All right, let's switch the camera over so that we can get started. We are going to use the artistically inked dies. So these dies have my favorite leaf, and they have this big flower, and then they have dies that cut out the stamps. But we are just using this one today. And it is a little bit tricky to get out of the cardstock. So I've already run this through my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, and I used the regular sandwich, and then I put a piece of cardstock on top of it as an extra shim and just a little bit more thickness, and ran that through. Hi, Debbie, so happy to see you. Um, and that helps it cut a little bit better and makes it tighter. So we are going to use this piece, but we also need this piece, and we need to get all these little pieces out. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my Take Your Pick tool, the little pokey end, and poke out all these pieces that will come out easily. So some of the bigger pieces will come right out. But some of the little pieces just hang in there. So I hope you know that your Take Your Pick tool has a die brush tip. And I looked it up because I didn't know what page it was on in the catalog. It's on page 145, and it hides over here because it also comes with a foam mat, and it's hard to see on that. So that's like $12 for this tip. So you screw off your putty end and you screw in this end. And then it comes with this foam piece that I just have in a basket. Hi, Kathy. It's probably better if your basket doesn't have holes in it because the little pieces fall out. But now I can lay this on the foam and I run the brush on it and try to get out more little pieces. And that is working, believe it or not. I'm getting out all these little pieces in here. I'm trying to do it up a little higher so you can see it. But we've got almost all of those pieces out. Let's get a couple more of these off of here. And then it's even starting to fall out because we rubbed it with that. So it really, sorry, get a frog in my throat. It really helps a lot to use that die brush. And I hope you have seen that before. I hope that's not the first time you've been made aware of that because it's a handy little tool. So now we have all our pieces out of that, and we have this that we need. And I cut this to, the black was 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So it's going to go on the front of a card. Okay, it's going to go on the front of a card with a piece of white underneath it. I'm purposefully not showing you the card ahead of time. I think I want this to go this way. So I got a little bit of die cutting dust, I call it, on here. Probably my microfiber cloth. Yeah, that will just wipe it all off. Hi, Martha. So I want these two pieces to stay together really well. So I'm going to use some seal. I'm not using the liquid glue because I don't want anything to ooze out. This technique would not be good with glue sneaking out on me. Let's make sure I didn't get any sticky stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on here. I don't want my white to show. I'm trying to cover up my white. And of course, it's hard to see that when you're on white. I didn't quite get it over here. So I think I am just going to trim this with my scissors. There's always a way around something rather than try to lift that whole thing up. Oh, there's my cat again. I promise he's had dinner, but he thinks you might help him get some more food. Hi, Katie. Glad you could join us. Hi, Jan. Hi, Melanie. Okay, so now I have that down, and we're going to start the stained glass part. So I have some blending brushes, and I have some ink. And I'm going to start with checking to see which way this goes. I want this to go this way. So I'm going to start with some Orchid Oasis ink. And I'm just going to get some ink on my blending brush. And then I'm going to blend it right into the center here, where I think that flower is going to be. And I'm not worried if I go on the black because it really won't show if I do. Okay, so there's a little Orchid Oasis. And then I'm going to use a little Daffodil Delight. And that's going to go where I have the other flower a little bit. So again, I'll just rub my blending brush in there. And then rub some Daffodil Delight. And I'm trying to get a fairly good coverage with that. And now I'm going to do some Granny Apple Green with a green blending brush. And I have some greenery over here that I want to get. I'm going to get all that green stuff. Actually, these little pieces are going to get filled right in with the black. And I'm going to add just a little bit more Orchid Oasis, a little more purple, and blend those colors together a little bit more. And I can take my green brush and smooth that around. Okay, and we're going to place this back in and see how it looks. And this is where we get the stained glass look. Isn't that pretty? So I have to glue that in, but I'll give you a look at that. Isn't that really pretty? I need a little more purple up in there. I was a little big with my green, I think. All right, so I'm going to put, oh, I have a piece that I didn't pop out. There we go. I'm going to put some, let me close that up. I'm going to put some glue, just some little dots of glue on here. I hope you'll look through your dies that you might have and see if you have anything that cuts out an image that you can then set back in. It's kind of like quilting. Cut it apart and then sew it back together, because you can do some blending underneath it and make it look like stained glass. The black works for a stained glass look, and also a gold or even a silver paper would work. Let's see if I have enough glue on this. And I just kind of piece this back in and try to get any extra glue off of there. And it goes back in, and it looks really, really pretty. You could even put a little wink of Stella on there before you put the black back on top and give it a little bit of sparkle with that. So that's the stained glass part. I have a little white up here. When you see this here, that's going to drive me crazy. So I'm going to cut that off. Let's move these out of the way. Secrets, I had another one ready in case something happened to that one, because you never know when you go live just what could go wrong. Okay, so I cut that little extra piece off, and now we're going to glue this onto here. And we'll put a little sentiment on that. Kathy, I see your question about a Zoom class. I'll have to think. I don't know if everybody would have a die that would work, but we'll have to think about that and talk about that. See if that would work. So I already, let's see, used this cool happy birthday stamp. I just got this from Sweetly Scripted. This is one of the new online exclusives that's going to be released on Wednesday. And I thought I embossed that in silver. It looks really dark. Let me see what's going on with my light over here. See if I can get a little more light. That does not seem any better. But I embossed in silver. And now I need to cut that a little bit. Let's see what that piece of paper measures. Looks like that's just about 3 7/8. So I'm going to trim that up. I'll take a little off of that end, and then I'll see where 3 7/8 goes. I think that will work. And we could pop it up, I think, just about like that. I tried doing it in white ink on the back, and I didn't think it showed up quite enough. So I went for the silver embossing. Let's go up just a little bit more. And of course, it's not a card unless you have some bling. So these are in color pearls. Some of them are, I guess I've been a little rough with this, falling off. The lighter color is the Orchid Oasis. And the darker color is the Starry Sky. I think I might want the darker color on there, even though the ink we used was the Orchid Oasis. So now I'm back to my little putty tool, and we'll put a few of these around this card, and it will look, I'm sorry that looks so dark. I don't know why. There's that, and then on the inside, I think I will just put, I've lost my piece of white. I've lost my mat. Oh, here it is, to go on the inside. I got something on here. Okay, we will glue that in. I'm with you, Debbie. I will miss these colors too when they go. These colors are retiring or leaving the Stampin' Up! Inventory on May 1st. So if you need the dots or the paper or the colors, you'll want to stock up on them. And let's see, we put happy birthday on the outside, and I think we'll just put a little flower on the inside. Orchid Oasis on the inside or Granny Apple Green? What do you think? Or I suppose could be Daffodil Delight. What's your pleasure on the inside? I'm going to give you guys a minute to tell me. Excuse me, I'm going to have a little sip of my water. I get a frog in my throat. I have one vote for Daffodil Delight on the inside. Does anybody else care to? Martha says Orchid Oasis. I'm still bothered by this light situation. Another Orchid Oasis. All right, I think it's Orchid Oasis for the win at the moment, unless somebody jumps on real quick with something else. And I seem to always put something in the lower left-hand corner. That seems to be my spot. And we'll just do a little rose, a little flower like that. And we still have a little dust on here. There we go. There is our flower. It's really much brighter in real life, but it is very pretty. And that is the stained glass technique. I hope that that's something you'll think about and give a try at home. I'd love to help you make cards at home. If you're local to the area, I'd love to have you join me for a card class. And otherwise, I'm always on Zoom every Tuesday night at 6:30. We make a card. And this week, we'll be making a side easel card. like this on the Zoom class. I'd love to have you. The link will be posted tomorrow night. So have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy your Monday night, and I will see you later in the week. Thanks very much for joining me tonight. Bye-bye.